Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone to our Online Green Profits Kickoff to 2013 training call. My name is Marcia Neufeld. This evening's call will be hosted by myself and Karen Poor, and we are the creators of Online Green Profits. So what you'll want to do, if you haven't done so already, is get rid of some of the distractions. Make sure that you have a nice quiet place so that you can listen to this call and not be distracted. We promise not to keep you for too long. Now, these training calls are going to be held every Wednesday night, and the format of these calls is basically 3 parts. The first part of the call will be member news. Any updates or announcements for our Online Green Profits members, you're going to find them here, so you're going to want to make sure that you attend our calls. The second part is going to be our mindset moment. We'll give you some business mindset that you can apply to your business. And the third part will be some marketing and training. We'll do new training each and every week. So real quick, who are we? Well, as I said, my name is Marcia Neufeld, and I come to you from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, up here in Canada. I'm married with 3 kids. My friend and co-host Karen Poor comes to us from Kansas City, Missouri, and she's also married with 3 kids. So Online Green Profits was created by the 2 of us because we wanted to take what we had learned through our years of experience and share it with others so that they could in turn cut their learning curve and have success faster. We didn't want people to have to make the same mistakes we did. We had learned from our mistakes, and now we knew what not to do. So the bottom line, Karen and I have a great desire to help others succeed online, and that is why we created Online Green Profits. We are so excited with what's in store for our members in 2013. We've been busy planning the year and our future trainings, and well, I'll share more with you about that in just a little bit. So let's move on to how we can make 2013 your best year ever. If you want to have true success, you must have a plan. You must know where you're going and what you want to accomplish in the next year. Some people call it goal setting. Call it whatever you want. Just make sure that you go out and do it. So how do you go about putting into a plan of action into place? Well, you must start with developing clarity on what it is that you want. You need to think about where you want to be at the end of 2013 and work your way back. You've turned a new page, started a new chapter, and you have the ability to write whatever you want in this chapter. So what is it going to say? Are you going to be excited about the end of 2013 and what your chapter said as you write the last page? Or will you be disappointed with this chapter? Remember, you're the only one that can write this chapter. As you gain clarity on what it is that you want, make a list of all the things you will have to do to accomplish this. What goals are you going to have to set? Then take those goals, break them down, and put them into a plan of action. Ask yourself, what is it I want to do with my life? If I could do anything at all, what would I want to do with my life? Imagine for a minute with me, guys, that you received $10 million tax-free, but you knew you only had 10 years to live. What would you do with your life? What would you do more of or less of? Imagine no limitations on what you could do or be or have. Sit down and write down on a piece of paper. Set your goals for 2013 and then make those goals into a daily plan of action so that by the end of the year you can achieve them. Remember, if you need help with that, attend these calls or get in touch with the person that enrolled you. You will find their details in the back office of your Online Green Profits members area. We want to share with you tonight the number 1 most important principle for success, and that is self-discipline. Your ability to make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, when you feel like it or not. Successful people make the habit of doing what unsuccessful people don't like to do. Successful people do things they don't always like to, but they do it because they can see the end results. They recognize that success comes by doing those things. Now here's a rule to remember. Every exercise of discipline in any area strengthens your disciplines in every other area, and any weakness in discipline also weakens your other disciplines as well. When you practice self-discipline, your body releases endorphins, which make you feel happy. You feel stronger and better about yourself. So what I like to do is I like to turn it over to my co-host Karen Port here, and she's going to share with us some of her personal disciplines that she's put into her business and that she lives by. So Karen, I'm going to pass the call over to you.
Thanks, Marcia, and thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm really excited to be kicking off the year. I actually have some really simple tips that I just want to share with you that I've learned over the years that some of them are really small and they've made the biggest difference in my business, in my family life, just in my life in general. And they've helped me be more productive. So I thought I would go ahead and share those with you. Some of them I'm actually trying out for the new year. Share those with you too, and we can work on those together. So my number one tip, and it actually is very small. It may seem small, but it's made a huge difference. This is something that I learned from, and it's something that I know Marcia's kind of touched on a little bit, but it's having a daily checklist. I know when I go to bed each night what I need to do the next day. I sit down, write down, and this can literally be a notebook. Actually, I recommend that it's just a plain old spiral notebook that you get from, your grocery store or whatever. Um, and right before bed, I write down at least 5 things that I need to do the next day. And there's just something about putting pen to paper that makes a huge difference in how our brains process things. And they kind of keep us in action. When we sit down and we get ready to go on our business, you'll be amazed that task you had to do, how much information is already there and how it kind of flows for you. It's something that it takes some time to get into practice with, but it's completely worth it. It will make such a difference for you. My second tip is to be accountable to yourself. Now, this can be actually a little hard. This is what's hard about our industry. You're the only person that you really are accountable to. That means that the people who are successful in this industry are usually self-driven. At the end of the day, who's going to know if you don't get those items done on your checklist? Nobody. The only person that knows is you. That can make it really easy to try to get out of doing things sometimes. You've got to be accountable. If this means that one night you're up till 2 in the morning because you didn't get that ad done you were supposed to get done, or you didn't shoot that video or whatever it is, that's what it means. How much do you want success? What are you willing to do? You are the only one that you're accountable to, so you have to make sure that you have that self-discipline. And this one can be one of the harder ones to do, but it's so important. My next tip is dumping the time suckers. This is something that is really important. There's so much noise out on the internet that it is so hard to focus for people. It's hard. The only way to really succeed at marketing online, which obviously will help you succeed in building a business online, is to pick one strategy and master it. You can't, spread yourself so thin and get yourself all over the place. You need to pick one thing and master it. Well, it's hard to do that when you have all this stuff coming out at you all of the time. So here's some examples that I can give you of things that I found that really suck a lot of time and are really just distractions and don't provide any value to my day when it comes to getting stuff done. The first one is Facebook. Now, a lot of you use Facebook for your business, and that is absolutely fine. This doesn't mean avoid Facebook. Facebook is an awesome way to be able to recruit people. It's an awesome way to meet people, to interact and kind of get prospecting and get those relationships built. But use it for its purpose. Schedule your time on Facebook. Log in, log out. If you need to spend a little time chatting with people who sent you messages or, building those relationships, do that. But don't get sucked into that news feed and, all the different things that are on there. You can sit down and think you're going to do a couple of things on Facebook. Next thing you know, it's an hour later. So really schedule that time. Even your status updates. Some of you are still working. You can do those while you're out and about. You can write those things down to make sure you're building that presence on Facebook, even if you're not around. And then at night, maybe that's when you kind of get in and do your stuff. Totally fine, but jump on, jump off. The second one is email. Now, I'm actually going to try something new with this. I've already started trying it, and it's made a huge difference for me. Just think about this for a moment. You have your checklist. You're ready to go. You've thought about it through the night. You know exactly what you're going to do for your business. You sit down, open your computer, and what do? You check your email. Before you checked your email, you knew exactly what you're going to do, and now you're probably distracted by all the things that were coming at you, all the different lists that you're on of people saying, try this, try that, come jump on this webinar, come do that, when you're just trying to focus on that one thing and master it. And all that email does is just suck you away from it. and nothing about it really keeps you in action. So this is something that I'm trying this year, and I have been trying and using, and it makes such a difference. I decided when I sit down to work on my business for at least the first hour, I will not look at my email at all. Not even going to pull it up. I don't need to worry about anything. If there's an emergency, if it's that big of an emergency, they know my phone number. They will contact me. It will not be the end of the world if I don't look at my email. This keeps me super focused. It keeps me to where I'm doing the things that I need to do. And on a side tip too, when you're going through your checklist, when you're doing things, one thing that I'm trying this year, and I found that does work, there's always that one thing on your list that's a little hard that you kind of don't want to do and you put it off. Take the hardest thing and do it first. Get it out of the way. Then the other stuff is just smooth sailing. It kind of leads to procrastination very easily if you have that one thing and you really just don't want to get it done. And I'm just as guilty as anyone. That's why I'm trying this out. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to get on here. I'm not going to check my email. I'm not going to get on Facebook. I'm going to knock out that task that's really, really hard. And then the rest of my days are a little bit easier. So my next tip for you, it is setting effective goals. Now, everyone's mind works differently, and I found for myself that goals are best broken down. I think about things in a different way. I need to be able to sit down, set a goal for the month, and work backwards. Every single goal that I set is actually tied to daily or weekly tasks. There are things that I need to do to reach that goal. So when I set that goal, I sit back and say, okay, what actions do I need to do each and every day, or maybe some of these are weekly, to accomplish my monthly goal? Well, here's what I do. If the example of, say I want to enroll blah, blah, blah amount of people into my business. I know I got to work backwards from that. Okay, where do these people come from? These people come from through the system. They come from me advertising my capture pages, them opting into my autoresponder, going through the system, being introduced to my business, and so on. You know how the process works. But what's the first step? Getting people to opt into your capture page. So what's my goal set around? The number of people who opt into my capture page every single day. It gives me a better perspective of where I'm at for the month. If I didn't get, the best amount of opt-ins one day, I know I have to bust my butt even harder the next day to make up for what I didn't get yesterday. Now, everyone has a different way of thinking. It's just finding out what works best for you. This one in particular, the way that I do it just happens to work for me because I find it less intimidating. And sometimes when I find something intimidating, I've noticed that I end up in an inaction and procrastination, and that doesn't help anybody. So get to know yourself and find out what's the best way for you to set goals. I know Marcia is going to talk about goal setting, and we set goals differently. We're different personalities. So it's something that you really want to think about. Find the thing that works for you and keep doing it. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is actually the most important one. I saved the best for last because it's that important to me. Now, if you want to get a leg up on your competition, you're going to have to do the things that your competition is not willing to do. Bottom line. I want you to listen to this quote that I found probably about a year ago, and it made such a difference for me. It really spoke to me where I was at in my business and where I was in, my knowledge and what I was doing. Success is never owned, it's rented, and the rent is due daily. What that meant to me was success is not a one-time event. Someone doesn't just get to a point and they're like, oh, they're successful. They don't need to do anything else. They're successful. Tom Jones did this, so now he's successful. No, that's not how it works. And I bet you if you ask any person in this industry, they understand that that's not how it works. Our industry is very unique from a lot of different industries. You don't need to go to school for 10 years to be able to make six figures. The secret to success is actually really simple, and our industry is different because anyone can do it. It's a level playing field. It's all about your mindset, though. It's all about the way that you think. So if you want to be successful this year and want to make this year the year that makes a difference in your life, the real secret of success is that you take action, and you take action daily and are consistent with that. Successful people do, like I said before, simply the things that other people are unwilling to do. I want you to stop and really think about this industry. Just like I said, in being accountable to yourself, your success is completely dependent on the things that you do and how you have the ability to adapt or change as things change throughout time on the internet. It's in your thinking and it's in your approach to things. I want to give you an example of this. You'll see this in our Online Green Profits training if you're an Online Green Profit member. But quite a few years ago, I was asked to do a 30 to 45-second video testimonial for a system that I was using. Now, I wasn't new to doing testimonials, and I was all about them because I knew, there's a place for branding in that. You got to get you get asked to do a testimonial because you're kicking butt in a system, do it. Get your name out there. But video was becoming so much more powerful, so they wanted it on video. This was the first video that I was going to do. I was scared to death. It took me over 3 hours to do this 30-second video, and I only know it took me 3 hours because I had to be at my son's Valentine's Day party that day by 2 o'clock. So if I hadn't had to have been there, it probably would have taken me 7 hours, but oh well. The point was it was so uncomfortable. It was horrible. I was so nervous, and it was almost painful to an extent. But once I was done, it made it so much easier. I still look back on that video. I looked so scared. It's like deer in the headlights. I'm not even really smiling. It's like I'm trying to make myself smile. You know what? That video worked just fine. I recruited people from that video. I had success from that video. Why? Because I put myself out there. Now, while it might have been a little bit of a traumatizing event to do that video, it made it a million times easier the next time I went to do a video, and the next time I went to do a video. And now I just don't even care. I don't even have a script most of the time. I just talk about things that help people. But I didn't just get that way. I had to go through the pain of putting myself out there, just stepping right past my comfort zone. And that's what you're going to have to do to be successful. If you take anything away from these 5 different things, take this one. And you know how I feel about being in action if you've been in our training, because I talk about it in almost every training. The only way you're going to be successful is to take massive action, and don't feel like you need to know everything about everything before you do. Take massive, imperfect action. It's okay if you mess up. Just do it. So anyway, those are my 5 secrets. I'm going to pass it over to Marcia so she can share the things that she thinks are most important. And I think it's kind of funny. We did not share what we were going to talk about in our 5 different things, but from the way she did her intro, I have a feeling ours are going to overlap a bit, which is really funny. We kind of have the same way of thinking. So anyway, I'll turn it over to Marcia, and she can go ahead and share her biggest tips.
Okay, so what are my 5 disciplines? Well, my number 1 discipline is the discipline of clear thinking. Most important discipline, because the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your decisions and choices. Your decisions and choices determine the actions you take. The actions you take determine your results, and your results determine the quality of your life, and it all starts with clear thinking. Thomas Edison once said, "Thinking is the hardest discipline of all." It requires real effort to think because of all our distractions. Today we are so bombarded that we are so immersed in our technology. We're always watching TV, watching movies. If we go out for a walk, we're listening to our iPods. We're in our vehicles, we're listening to music. If we're meeting someone, we're on our cell phones, on our iPods. We're just inundated with technology. When we're always on technology, we cannot think well. It's like a distraction. So my challenge for you is to create a long, unbroken chunk of time that you can literally sit down and think. Sit in solitude for 30 to 60 minutes. Man, I'll tell you, it's hard to do. Sit calmly with no noise, no distractions, nothing to read. Not even a magazine. At the 25-minute marker, your mind goes clear and solutions just kind of pop into your mind. If you have a problem, it's amazing how that works. Suddenly, that problem, you see it in a different light and solutions just start coming to you. So it's really amazing what can happen when you just clear your mind. I know it's really a hard thing to do, and it is a challenge. Trust me, not everyone is able to do that, but we have to be really conscious of that. Fast decisions are usually wrong decisions. If you're going to make a decision that has long-term consequences, think about it carefully. Take time to make the decision, and it will be a better quality decision. Take time in making the important decisions in your life. So sometime in the next week, when you have some time to yourself, if you can find some, sit by yourself and just allow yourself to calm down, to think, and an amazing thing will happen. You will start to make better decisions. And an interesting factor, just kind of a side note here, this is practiced by most of the successful people in the world today. It's a daily discipline that they have adopted. So the second discipline I'd like to share with you is a discipline of daily goal setting. This will change your life. They say you can double your income and double your time off in 1 year with daily goal setting. Take a notebook and write down 10 goals you'd like to accomplish in the next 10 months. Write in the present tense. I earn, I live, and give these goals a deadline. Every single day, write and rewrite your goals. Do this every single day before you start your day. It will reprogram your subconscious mind. So when you get up in the morning, have a blank notebook, and every day just write out those goals so that you know where you're headed, you know what you need to focus on. Now, discipline number 3 is the discipline of daily time management, of taking the time to plan my day. And this is a challenge because, you know, life does get in the way. And I find that if I have not planned my day, if I have not taken the time to know exactly what it is I need to do, I can follow into whatever happens that day. The rule is every minute spent planning will save you 10 minutes in execution. Disciplining yourself to plan your day will not only save you time, but if you thoroughly plan your day each day, but you will increase your productivity 20 to 50%. Now, who doesn't want to be 50% more productive? If you're not working for a plan, then you're just reacting to whatever's going on. You get interruptions and you're off and running, and if you don't have a plan, you can feel so interrupted. Your day can just get away from you. How many times has that happened where, you know, you had your day completely planned out according to what you were going to do, and then you get all these different distractions. At the end of the day, you're thinking, where did my day go? I have no idea what happened. But if you work from a plan, it's easier to stick to that plan. Work from a list. Write down everything that you need to do throughout the day. And one tip for making this list, do it the night before. Make the list the night before so that you can wake up focused. This allows your subconscious to think about your list throughout the night. Prioritize your list as to what's the most important. Then discipline yourself to work only off your list with your most important task. And work on that number 1 task until you're done, until it's completely been finished. Discipline number 4, the discipline of excellent health habits. Now, this one can be a challenge for all of us. Think about your health and the things that you want to improve, and make a list of all the things you would like to change. You know, this is something that I adopted early, and it is still just a daily activity. I really have to concentrate on this. One of the things I like to do is exercise first thing in the morning. Not only does it help you to continue burning calories all day, but it will help you to develop the discipline of starting something you wouldn't normally want to do, and you'll get it done. Most successful people start their day early. Discipline yourself to get up a bit early. Even if you're not a morning person, just try it. Start your day an hour earlier and see what happens. You know, going back to the exercise, when you exercise 30 to 60 minutes, your brain releases those endorphins that we talked about earlier. It affects you mentally, so you start your day feeling happy and energized. Another tip is to eat before 6 p.m. at night. Everything you eat after that is just accumulated, and everything you eat before that is burned up. So don't eat 3 hours before you go to bed, and don't eat after 6 p.m. And make sure you get enough sleep. Get in the habit of going to bed at a certain time and getting up at a certain time. I know that is one of the hardest things to do, is make sure we get enough sleep, especially when we're working from home and trying to deal with family and everything else. But just make that one of your disciplines. And discipline number 5 is discipline in investing in yourself. To earn more, you must learn more. You must learn new knowledge and skills to make that possible. Now, one thing that you can do with this is to read in your field. Read 60 minutes a day. 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. That will translate to 50 books in a year. If you read 50 books in a year, it would be the equivalent to earning a PhD in whatever field you're in, online marketing, anything. Listen to CDs whenever you have the chance. When you're traveling, make sure that you have a good CD in the vehicle that you can listen to. So much traveling is done. So much time is spent in your vehicle. Also, invest in yourself by attending webinars. Webinars like this, where you can learn different things with marketing and mindset. Any of the other webinars that are offered. Go to seminars. Hear from people live. Take courses. Learn something new. The benefits of investing in yourself are absolutely life-changing. You will never be sorry for investing in yourself. So those are my 5 disciplines. I hope that helps you to give you some idea of how to start your year off. Surely with what Karen has shared and what I have shared, you learn a lot. So I'm going to turn the call back over to Karen, and she's going to give us some updates on what to expect with our marketing in 2013.
Oh my gosh, Marcia, that was great. I really love the one about quiet time. I know how hard it can be to have quiet time. I have 2 kids, 3 dogs. They're always making noise. It's next to impossible, so I really cherish my quiet time. And it's amazing what can come out of our brains when we are just stop and are peaceful and just sit and let our brains think. So I love that one. I took notes myself from some of those. So thanks for sharing those. Those were awesome. So what is coming for 2013? Let's get down to some of the fun stuff. This is what I'm really excited about. There are a lot of things that we're going to be rolling out this year. A lot of it, of course, is training on, lead generation and all that kind of all that stuff, because we're a marketing and training platform. But we're going to roll out some other things too. We want to have a mindset mastery section where you can really work on your mindset. Like Marcia said, so much of your success is the way that you think and the way that you feed your brain and how you invest in yourself. So we're going to have a section that really helps you become the person that you're capable of being. There's just a lot of great things that we're going to do. But I have some really big stuff on the marketing and the training side. So what we're going to do, this looks like a lot of different stuff, right? Don't be intimidated by it. We're just going to expand on some of the basics. There's already some great training in online green profits that you can go and master and start seeing some results. And we're going to show you how to take those strategies and take them to the next level. We're going to have some immediate traffic methods that we're going to go through. We're going to have some residual traffic methods that we're going to go through so that you can get traffic right away, so you can be setting yourself up also with an internet presence that brings traffic for the long term. But what we're going to do that makes this really important is we're going to stagger this training. We do not want people to get overwhelmed. There's already quite a bit of training in online green profits. So these are going to roll out in different phases, and we'll probably alternate between residual traffic strategies and immediate traffic strategies. I think that will work best because then it kind of feeds into whatever personality type you are. You can find the thing that works best for you. We know from personal experience that you will not get anywhere by half learning a bunch of different stuff. You'll just end up sitting there. You need to just get good at one thing and then get good at one more thing. So we just want to make sure that we help you guys do that by staggering this training. So are you ready for the very first one? The first training that's going to roll out by the end of this month. I'm so excited about it. It's kind of been my baby. It's something I've been working on for a while. So our very first training that we are going to roll out is called Posting for Profits. Now, I have been working on this for a while, like I said, but the reason that I love this is it is such a simple strategy, and you can create long-term residual traffic with it. For those of you who are new, if you can start out by setting up some of those things that create residual traffic, you are going to be doing so much better than Marcia and I were doing a year into our internet marketing careers when we didn't know anything about any of this stuff. The Posting for Profit series is going to show you how you can build your brand and establish your internet presence. It doesn't matter how long you've been online. I know a lot of you guys, a lot of members come to me and say, what, I don't have anything to offer. I'm new. It doesn't matter if you're new. You have something to offer. If you've been on the internet for 2 days, you know more than a lot of other people that are out there. Just by being on this webinar, you know something that a lot of different people don't know. You can take that knowledge and you can share it with other people. So I'm going to teach you how to find that knowledge within you and share it, because you have a lot more to offer than you even realize that you do. And I'm going to make this training so simple that it is literally step by step. If you can point, click, copy, and paste, you will be able to use the strategy. Another great thing about it is I think it's so important that we're actually making it available to our free and our gold members. Now, our gold members are going to get a much more advanced section of using this strategy. We're going to kind of show you how to take it to the next level. But that doesn't mean as a free member, you can't take this strategy from beginning to end and actually be able to do something with it and still produce results. So I'm really excited about it. And what's even better is that this strategy is free. It doesn't cost you anything. So it's an awesome strategy to learn if you are on a budget. It's really easy to do, and it's something that you do over and over. So it becomes a little bit of repetition, but that makes it easy to learn. So anyway, stay tuned next week. We're going to have a little bit of a preview for the Posting for Profit series. It's not quite done yet, and we expect it to roll out by the end of the month. So with all that being said, I want to thank you guys for coming. It was great to have you here. I had a lot of fun. Thanks, Robin, for helping us out with our little control issues with the volume earlier. Much appreciated. And I am going to toss it over to Marcia to see if she has anything else that she wants to add. Thanks again, you guys, for coming.
Okay, thank you, Karen, for those marketing updates. I'm certainly looking forward to everything that these calls will be bringing and the training that we will be doing in 2013. I can hardly wait. So I just want to remind you to come back next week as we continue on, roll out some of our training. Make sure that you are reminding your members to sign up for the alerts so that they can receive the system emails. If they haven't and you realize that they haven't, then make sure that you're forwarding your emails to them and that they are able to get the reminders for this call. I believe that is everything. This call is recorded and will be accessible to the Golds. You'll be able to go into the Gold members area and access these calls. So I want to thank you for joining us. It's been a great start to the new year. Karen and I are extremely excited with all that we have planned for 2013. So have yourself a great night, and once again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next Wednesday as we continue on with our training.